I'm so excited to share with you a brand new stamp set. This stamp set will be released in the new catalog that comes out January 18th, and it's called Love You Much, and it has some really cute images and some great punch matches. So I'm going to show you a card that takes advantage of the fact that this stamp set is die cut, as all of the stamps in the new upcoming Spring Summer 2009 Stampin' Up! Catalog will be, plus the fact that this stamp and this stamp match perfectly with Stampin' Up! Punches. So we're going to start off with a piece of very vanilla cardstock. This is 8.5 by 4 1/4, and I'm going to fold this in half. And I have a layer of Red Riding Hood cardstock and Pink Pirouette, a piece of the brand new Candy Lane Designer Series paper, and then some real red, or Riding Hood red, and very vanilla scraps. The first thing I'm going to do is take my Pink Pirouette cardstock and go ahead and cut a scallop from this from my Big Shot. Use my snail adhesive to attach this to my Real Red Riding Hood, to my Red Riding Hood cardstock, and I'm going to do it so that I have some overlap. So we have our scallop sticking out the edge, and then I'm going to flip this over and use my scissors, and these are the awesome Stampin' Up! Ribbon scissors, but I like them for doing large cutting like this because the blades are so big that I don't have to worry about getting a straight cut. I know I just have to do one cut and I'll get a perfect straight line. Okay, so now we have our scallop size to fit, and I'm going to go ahead and stick this down here on our very vanilla layer. And this is where your Crafted rubber scissors come in handy. Since the stamps are die cut, you won't need to cut your stamps anymore, but it sure is handy to have them for doing shaker cards. So I'll go ahead and trim along the edges of the rubber here. And I'm going to just check the size of this to make sure that it's going to fit underneath our cover sheet, and yes, it will. Now this piece of Designer Series paper is 3 by 3 inches, which is the magic size with our jumbo punches if you want to punch right in the middle. So I just centered this by looking at the edge of the paper here and the edge of the paper here, and push this all the way into the stop, and then I get a punch exactly in the middle. So just remember 3 inches for your punches. Alright, so now I'm going to need something to frame with our frame. So I'm going to take from our stamp set the Hugs and Kisses stamp image, and I'm going to use Going Gray, Basic Gray actually, with this image. Basic Black would be fine, but I like the Basic Gray. Sometimes it's just a little bit softer. And Basic Gray has the same characteristics as our Basic Black and Basic Brown pads. They are perfect for watercoloring because they are water resistant, which is great because I'm going to do some watercoloring. So I'm using a blender pen, which has no color to it, so you can see the ink in here is clear. It's actually a glycerol water mixture, and this is my favorite basic watercoloring tool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Pink Pirouette and my Red Riding Hood pads to match our designer paper and our cardstock, and I'm going to squish the pads like this so that the pad touches the lid of the cardstock, and what I get is a nice pool of ink. And then I can use my blender pen to pick the color up from there and go ahead and color. Alright, and through the magic of television, I'm done with my coloring. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do then, now that we have our background all colored, and you can see, of course, this fits perfectly with the Stampin' Up! Scallop punch, there we go, is to make our shaker box. And the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and peel the backing from our rubber piece here. And since this one is a symmetrical circle, it doesn't really matter which side goes where. But I'm going to go ahead and put this over our Hugs and Kisses. So now we have paper with our double stick foam and everything on it. And we're going to need a piece of plastic to keep everything inside. So I'm going to use just one of the Stampin' Up! Cello bags and go ahead and cut a piece from here. And it just needs to be big enough to cover the hole and not show on the side. So maybe I'll trim it down just a little bit. Okay, That looks about the right size. And we need something to put inside our shaker card, of course. So this is where the 3 heart stamp is going to come in. And I have a scrap here of Red Riding Hood cardstock to match our coloring and our cardstock and our paper and the ribbon we're going to use. And I'm going to use my basic gray pad again and go ahead and ink this up, and I'm going to stamp it twice. Once here and once here. Now, this is one of my very favorite things about the new Triple Heart Punch, which is very exciting and comes in the bundle with the stamp set and the paper and the punch is the bundle during January, December 28th to January actually, and December 23rd. Don't mind me. You know what? The details will be on my website, so that's the best place to look. But what I'm going to do is go ahead and position this cardstock so that the hearts are right perfectly in place. Let's see. There we go. And then just go ahead and punch. And now I have 3 cute little stamped punched hearts. So we'll do it one more time. So we have another punch. And of course I'm using my Stampin' Up! Punches upside down so that I can see what I'm doing. Alright. Now we are going to make up our shaker box. So I'm going to peel off the rubber now from the other side of the double stick foam. And you want to go very gently with this because you want the adhesive to stay on the foam. You don't want it to peel off with the rubber. And if you're too vigorous about peeling off the rubber, sometimes the adhesive sticks to the rubber instead of the foam. Other things to put inside the shaker cards, you could do glitter, you could do microbeads, you could do all kinds of different things. We're going to do the little paper cardstock hearts. So I'm going to place the 3 hearts inside our shaker box. And then I'm going to take my piece of cello bag, and since our foam is sticky, all I have to do is place it over and go ahead and press it down. And then I'm going to take our piece of designer series paper and layer it over the top. So I'll put my snail on here. And then I'm going to just layer this over the top. Right. So we have our shaker box, and now we need to put it on our card. We'll add this to the front here. Stick some snail on the back. If you get a really heavy shaker box, you've put a lot of things in it, you might want to consider using sticky strip to go ahead and stick it down onto your card. Alright. And then we need some extra little embellishments, I think. So I'm going to use those 3 extra hearts that I punched and put some snail on the back of those. And we'll go ahead and stick one down here. Maybe this little one here to set it off. And then one up here. So we're doing pretty well. We have maybe one more embellishment to add. I'm going to use some of the Red Riding Hood taffeta ribbon, which of course matches the paper and the ink that we watercolored with, and the designer series paper, cardstock, my ribbon scissors. And I'm going to go ahead and tie a decorative knot here on the side. And maybe we'll trim our ribbon just a little bit. There we go. And there we have our cute little shaker card. Now, if you wanted to make more of this card, you only have one piece of that double stick foam in there from your stamp set. So what I would recommend is go ahead and just skip the double stick foam and just go ahead and layer the paper directly on your watercolored image. So there are the 2 cards. So I hope you've had a good time watching this, and I hope you're excited about this really clever stamp set and the bundle that includes the punch and the designer series paper. For more details on the special, you'll want to visit my website at www.lovenstamps.com, and I'd be happy to help you with any questions.